Welcome to Writing Our World, Navigating a Skill. The objective of this video is to walk you through how to best navigate each of the 49 skills that you walk your students through in the Writing Our World scope and sequence. Now, please follow the general lesson flow that we outlined in our Writing Our World curriculum flow video. We highly recommend you really internalize what the structure of each lesson is so that you feel confident and ready to perform this lesson in this flow structure. We've put a lot of intention into designing each part of the lesson plan and really believe that you have all of the core components that you need built into the structure that exists. So take some time to internalize it so that you feel comfortable. Since pacing is one of the hardest parts of especially intervention instruction, but really all instruction, pacing is one of the trickiest pieces to navigate. We're going to provide some further guidance on how we would encourage you to think about the pacing through the curriculum flow and through the navigation of each of these skills. So remember, you begin each skill with an introductory lesson plan. The introductory lesson plan is exactly what it sounds like. It's the lesson plan that sets you up to introduce the skill for the first time to your group of students. You're going to walk them through an I do and then a we do, and then you're going to give them an opportunity to practice in a you do activity. Sometimes these activities will be solo, just the student, and sometimes they'll be small group activities. Once you think that your students are pretty confident with that introductory lesson plan, you're going to move on to the subsequent lesson plans. Now, the subsequent lesson plans are meant to be used as many times as you need to get your students to the 80-80 benchmark that we've talked about. The 80-80 principle is teach that skill until 80% of your students are achieving 80% accuracy on that skill. So the subsequent lessons are meant to be used to get your students from the introduction of the skill to that 80% accuracy level. Through the student application activity analysis that you'll be doing every lesson, you'll have a sense of when your students are ready for the exit ticket. The exit ticket is meant to be used when you think 80% of your students are achieving 80% accuracy. Then you use the exit ticket to gauge if you're right or not and whether you should move on to the next skill with that group of students or spend some more time in the subsequent lesson plan. Remember, all of our materials are editable, so you can always individualize them to exactly what your group of students need. Now, what happens with the students that don't meet the 80-80 benchmark, but you have to move on anyway because the rest of the students are ready to? Well, here are some ideas that we encourage you to consider. The warm-up and the wrap-up are awesome opportunities that are already built into the lesson flow to allow you to do individual review, conferencing, or intentional small group work to provide students that are still working on mastering that skill the practice and feedback that they need to master it. We also really encourage you to consider sending a video clip with an email to the child's parent or guardian so that they can support at home, because oftentimes the child just needs repeated practice to really gain that confidence with that skill. Please don't skip the warm-up and wrap-up. We've put a lot of intention into designing these components of the lesson, and we really believe they're going to be crucial in making sure that your students are set up for success for the lesson and the applied practice sections of the flow. If you have any questions about how to navigate a skill or any additional questions about the pacing process, please don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to talk to you. Remember, the 80-80 principle is just a guideline, and at the end of the day, we always encourage you to use your practitioner judgment in balance with the accuracy benchmarks to really make those crucial decisions on when students are ready to move on to the next skill.